The year is 312 AD. Rome, the eternal city, stands divided. Its empire split between rival claimants to the throne. At the center of this turmoil are two men, Constantine, the ambitious son of Constantius, and Maxentius, the self-proclaimed emperor ruling Rome with a mix of fear and spectacle. Their clash at a single bridge over the Tiber River would not only decide the fate of the Roman Empire, but also chart the course of Christianity for centuries to come. Let's step into the story of the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. For nearly half a century before this battle, the Roman Empire had been anything but stable. Civil wars, assassinations, and invasions had torn apart what was once the most powerful state in the world. In an attempt to fix this chaos, Emperor Diocletian created the Tetrarchy, a system where 4 emperors would share power. In theory, this meant no single man could dominate, and succession would be orderly. In reality, it only multiplied rivalries. By 312, Constantine controlled Gaul, Britain, and Spain, ruling from the city of Trier. Maxentius, on the other hand, seized Rome itself in 306, claiming the title of Augustus. But Maxentius's rule in Italy was unpopular. Heavy taxes and corruption earned him the hatred of the Senate and the people, while Constantine, by contrast, had built a reputation as a capable, disciplined leader who treated his soldiers and provinces with fairness. The rival's Constantine was more than just a skilled general. He was a man with vision. Born into the imperial family, he had grown up in the courts of emperors, studying the art of power. His father, Constantius, had been one of Diocletian's Caesars, and Constantine carried his ambition like armor. Maxentius, however, was different. Though the son of former Emperor Maximian, he lacked military talent. His strength lay in political theatrics. He styled himself as the guardian of Rome, throwing extravagant games and presenting himself as the champion of traditional Roman gods. But beneath this glittering facade was weakness. His army was large but not loyal, and his claim to power rested more on desperation than destiny. The empire was too small for both of them. Their conflict was inevitable. The March on Rome. In the spring of 312, Constantine made his move. With around 40,000 men, he crossed the Alps into Italy. Maxentius controlled more soldiers. Some accounts say up to 100,000. But Constantine relied on speed, discipline, and surprise. In battle after battle, Constantine's army triumphed. At Turin and Verona, he crushed Maxentius's forces, driving them back toward Rome. Panic spread in the capital. Maxentius could have stayed behind the walls. Rome's fortifications were formidable, but instead he made a bold and fateful choice. He would march out to meet Constantine in open battle. Why? Ancient sources tell us Maxentius had been shaken by omens. The Sibylline books, sacred prophetic texts of Rome, had been consulted. The prophecy declared, "On this day, the enemy of Rome will perish." Maxentius convinced himself this meant Constantine. Blinded by superstition, he took the field. Constantine's vision. Before the battle, something extraordinary happened, something that would shape the religious history of the world. According to Christian sources, Constantine experienced a vision. He either saw, in the sky above the sun, a cross of light accompanied by the words, "In hoc signo vinces," "In this sign you will conquer," or in a dream, Christ appeared to him, instructing him to mark his soldiers' shields with a Christian symbol. The accounts vary, but the meaning is clear. Constantine was being called to fight under the protection of the Christian God. Obeying this vision, Constantine ordered his men to paint the Chi Rho, 2 Greek letters representing Christ, on their shields. Whether or not every soldier understood its meaning, they carried the sign of a faith that had been persecuted for nearly 3 centuries. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge, October 28, 312. The armies faced each other at the Milvian Bridge, the crucial crossing over the Tiber River leading into Rome. Maxentius' forces were positioned with their backs to the river, relying on a temporary bridge of boats to retreat if needed. Constantine's legions, smaller in number, advanced with determination. The battle began with a cavalry charge. Constantine's horsemen, fierce and disciplined, smashed into Maxentius' cavalry, scattering them. Then came the infantry clash. Shield against shield, sword against sword, The two armies fought in a brutal struggle, but Constantine's men pressed harder, driven by their leader's charisma and their strange new symbol of faith. Soon, Maxentius's lines began to collapse. Soldiers were pushed back toward the river, the temporary bridge became clogged, and panic set in. As thousands tried to flee, the bridge of boats buckled under the weight. Men fell into the Tiber, dragged down by their armor. Among them was Maxentius himself. Legend says he was thrown into the river and drowned. His body later fished out and paraded through the streets of Rome. The battle was over. Constantine had triumphed. The aftermath. The victory at the Milvian Bridge was more than a personal triumph. It was a turning point in history. With Maxentius dead, Constantine entered Rome as the undisputed ruler of the Western Empire. But instead of thanking the old Roman gods, he credited the Christian God for his victory. Within a year, he and Licinius, his eastern counterpart, issued the Edict of Milan in 313. For the first time, Christianity was granted legal status within the empire. No longer would Christians be hunted, jailed, or executed for their faith. Instead, they were free to worship openly. This was revolutionary. Christianity, once a persecuted sect, was now embraced by the empire itself. Over the next decades, Constantine would continue to support the church, building basilicas, granting privileges to bishops, and eventually himself being baptized on his deathbed. The battle at the Milvian Bridge, then, was not just a military victory. It was the moment when Christianity began its transformation from the religion of outcasts to the faith of emperors. Legacy of the Milvian Bridge. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge is remembered as one of history's decisive moments. Constantine's vision, whether divine revelation or political strategy, changed the spiritual map of the Western world. Rome's old gods faded, temples crumbled, and crosses rose in their place. The empire that once crucified Christ's followers now carried his symbol into battle. The Roman Empire would survive for another century in the West and nearly 1,000 years in the East. But the religion born from this battle would endure far longer. Today, when we look at the rise of Christianity as the dominant faith of Europe, and eventually much of the world, it all traces back to that October day on the banks of the Tiber, when Constantine saw a sign in the heavens, marched under it, and defeated Maxentius at the Milvian Bridge.